Welcome back. Joining me now is Fran Tarkenton, Hall of Fame NFL quarterback, 9-time Pro Bowler, and author of The Power of Failure. It is a complete honor for me as a football fan and as an entrepreneur to have you in the studio here.
Good to be here.
So tell me about your book here, The Power of Failure. It's very interesting.
Well, you know, it took me a long time to write this book because nobody wants to be called a loser. And when I really look at my life of football, the only thing that drives you is failing. You got to try things, do things. The people that have success are always pushing the envelope and going. And when you do that, you're going to fail, and you learn from the failure. And then from that failure, you get smarter. And Thomas Edison once said, when he did the light bulbs, asked, how many failures did he have? He said, thousands, 10,000 failures. Didn't he get discouraged? He says, no, I knew I was one step closer. Now, most people, they want to sit around and think about success and dream of success. Second and third generation wealth, very seldom do they do anything because they've been taken care of all their life. They never did anything to fail. And so it's essential to anybody accomplishing anything on any walk of life to embrace failure, recognize it, own it, and learn from it.
You know, I think somebody sitting back saying, "Oh yeah, all right, NFL quarterback, real easy for him to say about failure, whatever." $12,500 a year is what you were making as a quarterback?
All right, I was drafted in the third round. Coming out of the University of Georgia, drafted in the third round, they say you're not good enough. Tom Brady's sixth round said he wasn't good enough. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder, right? I played with a chip on my shoulder. I made no money playing football. 12-5 my first year. My last year, my 18th year, I was the highest paid player at $275,000.
Even so.
Even so. That doesn't matter. Today's players make millions upon millions, and within 5 years after they play, they're broke.
But your success, by and large, from a financial standpoint, has come from your entrepreneurship. I don't think people, when I hear Fran Tarkenton, I think of a scrambler, I think Hall of Fame. I don't think entrepreneurship. So
I've built businesses, and when you do start up businesses, it's the hardest thing in the world to do, but the most gratifying, and you just have to embrace that because you're going to fail. And if you fail enough and learn enough, you have a chance to make it. But nothing is given to you, and that's the message. We have 520,000 startup businesses in this country every month. Every month. They have little or no help. And part of my drive in life is to give them the truth about success. You've got to fail. You've got to try things. There are no silver bullet solutions.
And that's what this book is designed to do.
This book is my life experiences. These are real stories of my failures, my learning, and my getting better. And here I am at 75 years old. I'm learning faster today, failing more today than I've ever in my life, and I love it.
Let me tell you, I hope I look like you when I'm 75 years old. Let's talk about that for a second with the failure thing, because take somebody like Donald Trump.
Yes.
He gets, they try to slaughter him in these debates about how he's filed bankruptcy as a business 4 times. But had he not filed the bankruptcy, he wouldn't have been able to be worth $10 billion, right?
Donald Trump would have not been so wealthy, so successful if he hadn't failed. Carly Fiorina got fired by Hewlett-Packard, so what? That's how you learn. Do we think somebody's going to be perfect as president or a perfect politician or a perfect football player? I don't think so.
If you had one quick story to tell me about a failure that you had in your own experience that somebody's going to read this and say, wow, what is it? How did you fail and come back?
Well, you could say you're in the Hall of Fame, you set all the passing records, you played in 3 Super Bowls. How could you talk about failure? Well, when you play in the Super Bowl before the largest television crowd in the world and you lose 3 of them, you don't feel good about it. So you know what you do? You question everything that you did. How did I not prepare for this? Why did I not do this? Where did I have a shortcoming? And I learned volumes from those 3 defeats, as I've learned from lesser defeats. And if you're not pushing the envelope and you're not failing, you're not progressing. You're not going to make it.
If we take this right now into sort of the politics, the 2016 season that's going on right now, more startups are failing than they're actually, I should say it differently. More businesses are closing than are starting up. That's the first time we've seen that in a very, very long time. What do you think needs to happen in 2016?
Big companies need to reinvent themselves. So we see Coca-Cola struggling. We see IBM, iconic companies struggling. The big box stores, the Office Depots, they're all consolidating because they have gotten comfortable in where they are.
Yep.
They didn't push the envelope. They're not out. Look at Amazon. Look at what they're doing. Look at Apple, what they're doing. You've got to be innovative, creative, and getting smarter every day.
Where can people find the book? Because we got to wrap it up.
This book on Amazon, Costco, all the bookstores, they have it online or in their physical stores.
Fran Tarkenton, The Power of Failure, Succeeding in the Age of Innovation. Fran, thank you so much for being with me. 75 years old, all the body parts still working?
Not as well as they used to, but they're still there.
All right. Up next, Steve Malzberg's Give Me Five. But first, I want to thank everybody here at Newsmax and Steve himself for having me in here, filling in for him today. I'll be back tomorrow and Wednesday. But before we go, Carly Fiorina is surging in the polls. Is she your candidate? Or is it still Donald Trump or Ben Carson? Who is your 2016 GOP candidate? Vote now at newsmaxpoll.com. That's newsmaxpoll.com.